Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mule channel. My name is Colton, and today's video is on this Entertainment Weekly article about comics. It says what quarantine innovations can tell us about the future of comics. So this article published today by Christian Holub, they're talking about they're talking about innovations as in these kind of quick stories that people are making. This is not the future of comics. I can tell you this right now. Future of comics is quality writing, quality books, quality art, trade paperbacks that you want to buy because you want to follow the 24 issues in the story or whatever, right? In 6 issues per trade paperback. That's the future of comics. Future of comics is not these quick hit money, fast food shit. That's not the future of comics. It is not. But we're gonna go over this article and see what they're talking about. So they say there when Diamond announced back in March that it would be shutting down operations as part of widespread government orders, the industry came to a screeching halt, which is true. 2 months ago, things are starting to move again, or 2 months later, things starting to move again as restrictions begin to ease across the country. Many comic stores are open again for at least limited business. Sure, but I don't think they're open in New York or California, are they? That's where the biggest money is in comics. Yet it's hard to imagine that the comic industry will fully ever return to its way it was before the pandemic. The two biggest publishers, Marvel and DC, have shifted some of their planned upcoming comics to digital-only releases in a move that at least one comics retailer is taking as a sign that perhaps the single-issue format is not long for this world. Which is, I kind of agree that single issue, the 32-page floppy with 10 pages of ads, that's not really the future of comics. I mean, people are only buying those when they're like collector items, like a Thor #1. For example, Thor #1 by Donny Cates sold 158,000 copies to comic book shops. And then by issue 3, it was at 55,000. Because nobody's actually reading the series. They're just buying the #1 issue because it's a collector's item. This is what happens to Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and so I think Image Comics as well, because people are thinking, these indie books, they're going to be made in TV series or something, so I need to get that #1, especially if it's a variant cover. You're seeing a lot of variants now with the indie books, and it says here in the article, single issues have very slim profit margins and only limited usefulness. I don't agree with that at all. If customers don't pick up an issue within a week or two of its release, they likely never will. Because people pick up what they're interested in. If companies are making trash, why would a customer want to buy it? What he writes about single issues have very slim profit margins. That's not true at all. that is not true at all. I mean, slim profit margins for who? For the creators, the ones writing the story? Yeah, they're not. The artist and the writer are not paid very much. DC and Marvel Comics always make a profit every year, even if they sell trash books. There is great profit, especially if you can kind of fudge the pages a bit, Go up to $4.99 US and you add 5 pages, that's the profit margin on single issues is actually very good. Problem is that comic book stores, are not selling them to customers because customers don't care about the current books because the stories are not good. We've demasculated the male heroes, covered up all the female heroes. There's a left-wing liberal agenda in almost every book. They have been pushing customers away for the last 5 years. It's something that I've been following since 2017 with your boy Zach and Comics Matter. Used to be Diversity in Comics. How he'd do reviews of the books, and these books seemed horrible. and no one buys them. They end up in the dollar bin or the quarter bin or whatever, on back shelves, hidden somewhere. Comic books have to sell, yeah, in their first 2 weeks, but they have to be quality books that people want to buy with their money. Comic books are a luxury item. If somebody's gonna spend $5 on a McDonald's combo meal, they're gonna do that instead. Food comes first. Comics are not that important. So then they say that they interviewed multiple comic creators and publishers about the pandemic era innovations. So there's this thing called Ice Cream Man. It's an image book by Maxwell Prince, illustrated by Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran. It's actually Ice Cream Man is actually a good series. It's very well known in the comic book industry. But let's look at what they're doing here. Prince decided to tweak the format. He and the rest of the creative team started a series of quarantine comics, 4-page issues of Ice Cream Man that came out once a week for 6 weeks for $1.99. What? Why would someone buy 4 pages of a book, I'm guessing digitally, for $1.99? That is ridiculous. That makes no sense. I'm gonna guess there's no sales on this book. Why would someone pay for 4 pages for $2? You can go to a comic book shop and buy a 32-page book for $3.99. You can probably get comics for $1, 32 pages for $1 at your local store if they're books that haven't sold. And that just seems like a cash grab, and it's like these fast food, fast fashion kind of stuff. We're just gonna shotgun shit out there to people, and then my fans who like the Ice Cream Man, they'll buy it, but you're giving them crap. We're gonna go down. The art is okay. I'm guessing this is done quickly, but I do not think that's the future of books, like this kind of cheap, fast fashion crap. The future of books are books you want to buy and read, not just buy because you want to CGC it and sell it on eBay. Buy because you actually love what is being in the book, and you're going to read it, and you're going to love it. We've completely gotten away from that in the comic book industry for the last 5 years. And it's evident by the variants and all that stuff. So this is another book called Youth. And they're talking about like comicsology and shit, but we'll get to that. Where do I want to start? Well, okay, this book called Youth. Youth has been releasing new issues on a weekly basis. The first arc is being described as season 1. Again, this is not the future of comics. Shitting. Like, do you like this art? Is this art great? This art sucks. This art sucks. This is what you're paying $2 a week for. No, this is not the future of comics. Not in any way imaginable. Look at the art on this. What the hell? This is just like shotgunned out. Like, I'm desperate for money. We need to make a 5-page story. Like, that's not the future of comics. I'm sorry. The future of comics is Ethan Van Sciver on Cyberfrog, creating a legendary IP, like a Harry Potter kind of thing, right? Or Hunger Games, but in comic book graphic novel form. That's the future of comics, getting quality product out and then selling merch as well, right? You can sell t-shirts, you can sell plushies, toys of your IP. That's the future of comics as a creator, is to have IPs and to make them quality so that people want to keep reading, and they want the full trade paperback of 300 pages of your stories. The future of comics is not these quick hit, fast fashion, fast food $2 a week stuff. Who's going to buy that? Maybe just your hardcore fan will buy it. You know, your name's John Smith and you have 100,000 people on Twitter. You might make some money selling weekly books for $2. But the general public doesn't care because they're gonna see promotional art or whatever, and they're not gonna be interested in your low quality work because you're putting out low quality work to get short term pay. Why don't you create something that's long lasting? People today still talk about Chris Claremont on X-Men from like the 90s, late 80s and 90s. So people today still talk about the Spider-Man and the Venom symbiote story from the 1980s, you know, Secret Wars and stuff like that. That's stuff that people still talk about because it's relevant. It had great writing. It was high quality. It will stand the test of time. These weekly books are just a cash grab. And if you're the sucker buying $2 comic books that are 4 pages long, I don't know. I think you have problems. You have a lot of problems. What do you think about this article from Entertainment Weekly, this kind of cash grab weekly comics for $2? What do you think about that concept? Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you.